Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Madam Treasurer, and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, March 4th, 2019. And at this time, we will have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo.
Here.
Councilman Barton.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
And Councilman Wadsworth is not here this evening. And Councilwoman Webb.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Start.
Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, 9, new business. 10, communication, and number 11 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Number 2, minutes. Agenda item 2A for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held February 25th, 2019.
So moved for approval of the minutes for the regular meeting held February 25th, 2019.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting, which was held Monday, February 25th, 2019. Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
No special meetings were held on February 25th. There are no petitioners on the agenda this evening. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. There was no special meeting tonight. The chair is going to recognize Councilwoman Talley at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to make a motion to accept the resolution in memory of Michael Pratt, a resident of the city of Romulus who passed on February 26, 2019. Mike served in the U.S. Army in the Korean War. After stint in the Army, he moved to Romulus in 1960. He worked at 3M Company in Wayne, Michigan for over 30 years, and he was a member of the Romulus VFW Post 9568 for 58 years, where he was well known for his outstanding skills as a pool player.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo for memorial resolution. Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. That concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, and audience. Tonight I brought this quote. I went to a policy conference last week, and this topic came up, and it really hits home. It goes as this: treating people fairly with civility is not a bad thing. It would be a good thing of our country and its political leaders if they actually looked at and took that to heart. They talked about civility, meaning that it seems like today, there's so much division, and civility really is just agreeing to disagree, being civil with each other, not about hating each other because we disagree. So that was part of the message with one of the speakers in the keynote. So I thought that really could be something that we could all learn from, not just as leaders, but just as a society. So consider that, please. Mr. Chairman, I would like to bring up a special guest. We have an event that it's the community choir that is coming back, and this gentleman, Pastor Bob Harper, came to me with the passion to help kind of facilitate it and bring people together. And as you may know or may not know, there's an event on April 13th at 6 p.m. At the Romulus High School Auditorium. And Pastor Bob, could you come please and speak a little bit about it? What's great about this is it's community, meaning everybody, but it was his passion idea to kind of bring this back together. So the floor is yours, please.
Could I ask a question before I
Sure.
get into that? I did the funeral for Michael Pratt last Friday. Where and when would you be presenting that resolution? Could I ask that?
Not sure,
Some of the family attends my church.
We'll coordinate it with you.
That's be the
It was
clerk.
requested through Bob
Bet-
McCrate,
Yeah.
but we can,
Betsy and her sister Beverly, who's married to Craig,
Okay.
they're the ones that attend my church. They'd asked me to do the funerals. I was just curious when you were gonna do that.
Yes, Ms.
If I
Clerk.
can, through the
Yes.
chair, the resolution will be ready this evening, but as the mayor mentioned, it was asked of us to prepare that through Bob McCrate, so we can coordinate that
Gotcha,
through Mr. McCrate and
Okay.
contact you to see, and then we can provide you with that resolution. But
my
it-
office also
yeah.
did a proclamation as well that we did, so we
Okay.
we can coordinate both of those.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Good evening, councilman and women, and mayor. Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna love you.
All right, back at you.
I came to the mayor, I don't know, several weeks ago, because a lot of the choir members that I used to have were prompting me to start the choir again, and I just didn't want to do it for the sake of Easter performances. I thought it could be done for the purpose in mind. And he said, how about doing a concert a benefit concert for the first responders, police, fire, and EMS, and we agreed that was a great idea. So that's who it's for. It's April 13th at 6 p.m. at the Romulus High School Auditorium. Please clear your calendar. Please spread the word. We now have 22 choir members already volunteered. 8 churches, different churches are already represented. There's going to be 9 numbers that are going to be presented. It's great music, inspirational music. Yes, it pertains to Easter and it's spiritual, but it's going to be great, great music. One-of-a-kind numbers. There's, out of those 9 numbers we're doing, 6 of them are solo numbers. Pastor John Cole is actually good doing a solo. Latrell Charles, Pastor Jesse Charles is doing a solo number. A young man by the name of Jonathan Sonkrant, whom I've known since before he was born. Jessica Leach is another young lady I've known since before she was born. My wife is doing a solo number, and our very own Ellen Bragg is also doing a solo number in the presentation. You really don't want to miss this. It's not for me. I'm not pleading my case for you to come listen to my choir. This is our choir, your choir. It's the Romulus Community Choir, and it's to benefit the families and of the first responders that serve us so diligently. So please pass the word around in your church, around here, around the community, in restaurants, wherever you go. Say, hey, did you hear about the concert that's coming up? Tell them they'll really like it, because they really will. That's pretty much all I have to say.
Pastor Bob, I think that's a very great idea or suggestion you presented to us council tonight. And I'm gonna try my best to make it there. I love to hear nice choirs and people in the community going to church events.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Mr.
thank
Chairman,
you.
this was kind of meant to be kind of the kickoff of starting to get the word out.
Okay.
We're going to get information about if people want to write a check, where they can do that. There'll be a free will offering during the service that they can also contribute to sometime midway. But we wanted to do something nice, as he said, for the community and for first responders. So it just made all the sense in the world.
You know, we haven't come up with a lineup yet of everything that we're doing. I'm sure there'll be some kind of color guard there to start the night off, hopefully.
We'll work with the details and get that together.
Yeah, hopefully some other honorary things going on in between the numbers. So it's not just about the choir, it's about them, okay?
Pastor Bob, a Councilwoman Talley had a question
Yeah,
for you.
just real quick, as you have a flyer, I thought I maybe seen one circulating.
That was just for choir members to come
Okay.
out. Jasmine Dancy is supposed to
Working on it,
have
yes.
a actual concert flyer for me
Okay.
by Wednesday, and I'm gonna start passing it out at the Romulus Ministerial Alliance meeting.
I was gonna send an
at
email,
noon
yeah,
that
if you
day.
can get me that
Yes,
information.
hopefully I'll have them. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be coming around to everybody giving them too, so, all right.
I'll be supporting it heavily, but I will not be singing, just to clarify, so.
We'd love to have you, but I've heard you sing, so.
Thank you. Thanks, Pastor Bob, appreciate it. We do have a video clip as well with just kind of some of the weekly events, so if we could roll that, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine Dancy. Our community events for the next week include tomorrow, the 5th, Romulus Relay for Life is holding an informational meeting for anyone interested in being a part of their leadership team at 7 p.m. at the Rack. Saturday, March 9th is Resolution Reset, a cheat day to remember from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sample a great variety of local food vendors at the Rack. Admission is free. Sunday, March 10th, St. John's Lodge is holding a bowling fundraiser at Wayne Bowl. Cost is $20, and the event runs from 5 to 11 p.m. Monday, March 11th, there is a free fire safety and prevention workshop held at Wayne County Community College Downriver campus from 6 to 7:30 p.m. The event is hosted by State Representative Alex Garza, along with our own Fire Chief Kevin Kraus and Taylor Fire Chief Portis. Learn simple tips on how to protect your home from fire hazards, as well as what to do in the event of a fire or carbon monoxide emergency. Events at the Romulus Public Library include Toddler Story Time on Wednesdays at 10:30 a.m. Tuesday, March 5th is their first Reading Month program. Juggler Rufus the Doofus will be there at 6 p.m. Wednesday, March 6th is Family Movie Night showing Ralph Breaks the Internet at 6 p.m. Thursday, March 7th, come learn about understanding simple taxes at 6:30 p.m. And Monday, March 11th is their second Monday book club at 7 p.m. For our good news, we had an amazing turnout for our 5th annual Romulus Black History Bus Tour. Over 100 people packed 2 full buses to ride around the city and learn about Black history, the Underground Railroad, and the civil rights movement in our community. Big thank you to Tanya Cofield for organizing and managing this event, the Romulus Historical Society, the APA, and 5 Points Church for their partnership, and Pastor Mark Zakim for volunteering and stepping up to be a tour guide for us this year also. That's it for this week. Please remember to like and share us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more info. Have a great night, everybody.
Thank you for that. Now, council, I have a few action items. The first one before you is item A. That's a recommendation from Josh Monty, our captain in the Romulus Police Department. And what you have is a recommendation to concur with the administration, adopt the attached resolution that will be authorizing the mayor and clerk to enter into the intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County. That's for the 2018 Justice Assistance Grant Funding Program. It'll be awarded to the city of Romulus and accept monies from Wayne County Department of Homeland Security. The amount of that is $10,622.
Through the chair, if I may,
Ms. Webb,
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and adopt the attached resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to enter into the intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County for the 2018 Justice Assistant Grant Funding Program.
Support.
it's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County, 2018 Justice Agreement Grant. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item is item B. That's a recommendation from Lynn Conway, our purchasing director, Kevin Kraus, our director of fire service and emergency management. And this is a request to concur with the administration to waive the bidding and authorization and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached personal service contract with Emergency Service Consulting International for the Community Risk Assessment Project as outlined on attachment A, and there's a detailed memo behind it.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion to concur with the administration to waive the bidding and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached personal service agreement.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Tally, and that's to waive the bidding community risk reduction assessment study. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next action item and last action item is a recommendation from Mary Druryard, our DDA director, and the Downtown Development Authority members. And this is to concur with the administration and the DDA and approve the amended City of Romulus DDA bylaws to reflect the increase in numbers serving members from 9 to 13.
Chair,
Ms. Roscoe?
I'll make that motion to concur with the administration and the Downtown Development Authority and approve the amendments to the City of Romulus's Downtown Development Authority bylaws to reflect the increase in number of serving members from 9 to 13.
I support that with discussion.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, to concur with the administration and the Downtown Development Authority and approve the amendments to the City of Romulus Downtown Development Authority bylaws to reflect the increase of number of serving members from 9 to 13. Discussion by Ms. Webb.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I did speak with Mary in regards to this before the meeting, and I was sitting here reading, going through the bylaws extensively, and I realized that these board members, you need more members because some of them are not showing up for a quorum, and I understand that. I was sort of against having 13, but once I read where if they don't show for a meeting, I think, 3 times in a calendar year? Well, 25% of the time in a calendar year that they will receive a letter and it will be sent to the mayor. But one thing that I did request was the names of the members who will be sitting on that board. And I don't have a problem with this going through.
That's no problem at all, and we're trying to encourage people to be there. They're business people, most of them, so we did have a member step aside that said they just couldn't fulfill it. But really, if we're gonna be on the board and they're gonna commit to it, we need them to be there. This will allow us to be more inclusive, we get more people involved in the DDA, so we're looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, and I would like to the mayor, for the additional 4 people that will be put on this board, is it a certain requirement other than a business person?
No, they have to live within the district, so the DDA map, we have residents and business people, they don't have to be business people.
Okay. And so
But
what
there
is-
are requirements, yes.
What is the deadline to apply for these additional members?
I mean, we're soliciting letters of interest now. I don't know if there's a set deadline.
Okay,
We'll get that out, but
okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes,
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. That's my last action item. The other is just an informational item.
Thank you, Mayor.
6A is the clerk's report. 6A1, for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1819-22, TIFA. This was introduced at the council meeting of February 25th, 2019.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to accept second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-22, TIFA.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Abdo, for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 18/19-22 TIFA. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
yes,
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
6A2, we have 2 study session requests. And this is coming from our financial director, Suzanne Marino. The 2 study sessions, one would be a public hearing, and that's to discuss the fiscal year 2019-20 budget. And the next will be a study session. The study session dates are proposed are Monday, April 8th, 2019 at 6 o'clock, and Monday, April 22nd at 6 o'clock. And then the second, the public hearing is for Monday, May 6th, 2019 at 6:30 PM. And again, this is this is in regards to the 2019-20 proposed budget.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion that we schedule study sessions for April 8th and April 22nd, as well as a public hearing for May 6th.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported Ms. Talley for two study sessions for April the 8th and April the 22nd for a public hearing to discuss our budget. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
The last action item under the clerk's report, 6A3, also a study session request, and this is coming from the city planner, Carol Mays. And she's requesting a study session for Monday, March 11th, 2019 at 6:30 PM. And this is to discuss the proposed zoning ordinance amendments for the following: Section 7.05, Vining Road, I think it's Sabrari Overlay District, Section 7.02, Schedule of Uses, Regional Center District, and Section 6.02, Schedule of Uses, Central Business District.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion for a study session request from City Planner Carol Mays on March 11th, 2019 at 6:30 PM to discuss proposed zoning ordinance amendments.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb. And this is a study session request from our city planner, Carol Mays, on March 11, 2019 at 6:30 to discuss the proposed zoning ordinance amendments. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
For your information, we've provided a public hearing notice for DTE gas customers, and that date is for Tuesday, March 12th, 2019 at 9 o'clock PM. And before I close out my report, there's two things. About 2 months ago, I know that it was requested to have a list of all of our boards and commissions, and we're working on that. Since we had some appointments, we've had some recent appointments, and we didn't want to give you a list, and we need, and people needed to, their terms had expired. So once the next few council meetings, when everybody has been appointed, then we can give you that list. So we didn't forget, it's just we want to make sure we gave you a completed list and not a half list with terms that had already expired. So I just want to give you an update on that. And lastly, as you notice, I'm up here by myself because my sidekick is not here tonight, our deputy clerk. Today is her birthday. And I told her just relax this evening, and I'm hoping that she's watching the council meeting sitting back with her feet up and enjoying. And so happy 70th birthday, Barb. And she's been with our city for about 40 years, I believe. Julie, correct me, about 40 years, and she's a dedicated, committed worker here for the city of Romulus, and I depend on her a lot. So happy birthday, Barb. I'm sure you're watching. So I just want to acknowledge that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. And with that, that completes the clerk's report, and 6B is the treasurer's report.
Thank you. Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, and audience. I do not have anything to report tonight, so thank you.
Thank you.
Number 7 is public comment, and this is a portion of the agenda for those that are in the audience. And then who would like to address city council. The rules to address city council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address city council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name and address. And please note you have 3 minutes to speak, and any additional time would be upon the consent of the chairperson. We do not have any written requests.
Okay, I'd like to reiterate that 3 minutes. If you need more time, just let me know. Any public comments from the audience? Yes, Mr. Walker.
Council members, to hear this evening that
Ms. Walker, would you pull that down a little bit?
Okay. I was glad to hear this evening that the DDA is adding more members to their, to the DDA. And at this time, I would like to express my desire to be on the DDA. I did turn in a letter at one time. I can get a letter in to you, and I guarantee you I'll be at the meetings because I live in the district, and I'm really interested to know what we're doing to bring that up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience? We'll close that part out, Madam Clerk.
Number 8 is unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication.
Yep.
Yes, Ms. Tally.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Last week, I want to just want to give say thank you to all the support, and most importantly, the prayers for my dad. He's doing much better, but the outpouring of support and love I've gotten as a result, it's just been tremendous. So I just want to tell everybody thank you. He's doing much better, but just keep the prayers going. And the other thing, too, is that we've wrapped up a pretty good Black History Month here in the city of Romulus. And I touched on some things last week about the soul food dinner, but there was still a lot going on with my dad, and there was some things I did want to touch on before I call it done. I want to give a shout out to our babies, Wick and Barth, our elementary schools. They have come for the last several years representing our schools, and I just want to give them a shout out for their part on the program. In addition to Romulus Community Baptist ministry dancers, they all always set the atmosphere and the scene for our soul food dinner with the very awesome dance ministry opening up our soul food dinner. So I want to do a special shout out to Pastor McBurrows and his church and the dance ministry for what they do in helping us set the atmosphere at our soul food dinners for the last several years. And just everyone on the program, I just want to give shout outs to, and like I said, the cooks, because we couldn't do it with all the great cooks that we have for the day, and the residents who have attended the event to make it successful. And the other thing I want to ask, so too, just a shout out to our people in legislation. I want to give a shout out to Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, who always sends a rep. She can't be everywhere, but she always makes sure she sends someone to represent her office. And so Oscar Arbulu, and I hope I'm saying his name right, was representing at the Soul Food Dinner, along with our state rep Alex Garza, who's always at a lot of things too. And they made it a point to stay to the very end of the soul food dinner to make sure that they were available for our residents for any questions and concerns that they may have. And I'm very excited about this team of legislators that we have in place, because now we're about action, and so it's about we the people. And to me, and I can't say all that they do from what I've seen, I feel like they're about we the people, amen. So I just want to say this, that we need to keep them. They're here for us. They stayed at the soul food dinner and they made themselves available for us, for any concerns that we have. And I heard a candidate who was running for Congress back when John Conyers' seat was open. She said, if we are not at the table, we will be on the menu. So let's make sure we're at the table, and they're at the table. So we need to make sure we give our concerns to them to help us in any legislation that we have that they represent us as our city. So I just want to give a shout out to them and the action and things that's going on. We know it's a process with different things we're trying to get established in our city and our state, but just keep their names, they're open for comments from residents. So we just want to keep that in mind. Thank you.
I'd like to do a congratulations to Romulus High School boys basketball. They were league champs this year. And even though we went to districts, but we didn't make it out of districts, but we can be proud of winning the league championship. Thank you.
Is there any more communication? If not, number 11 is adjournment.
So moved to adjourn.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, for adjournment. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Tally?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe? Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.